So first of all, I know my lipstick is a lot today, and it's a little bit janky, but that is just the life we're living today, apparently. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new cosplay review video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the website CosDaddy. They sent me their Jessie cosplay from Toy Story, hence why I'm wearing my Toy Story hoodie, just to be, themed, I guess, for this video. Quick disclaimer before I get into things. Like with all my reviews, the cosplay in question was given to me for free for the purpose of doing this review for you guys. However, I am going to be completely honest about how I feel about a given product or service, and this certainly is going to be no exception. This is my first time not doing a positive review of a cosplay, so all of that said, let's get into it. So for today's review, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently from how I typically do them. Usually I go piece by piece through the cosplay and just give all of my thoughts around them. But for today's video, I thought it'd be easier just to separate everything into positive and negative, talking about the positive first and then the negative later, because unfortunately there is a lot of negative stuff I have to say about this cosplay. I feel like it's just kind of easier if I go through everything, whether they're positive or negative. So let's get into it. So just a quick overview of the cosplay. The cosplay does come with the shirt, jeans, hat, and hair bow. In the actual product image, there is a belt pictured, but mine did not come with the belt. So I'm just gonna assume that it doesn't actually come with the belt, despite the fact that it is advertised to also come with the belt. So that's a negative thing right off the bat. Their shipping time was very normal. It took about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to arrive, which is pretty typical when it comes to cosplay websites. That's the usual time frame that I expect. Let's just go ahead and talk about the positive things. The cosplay overall is very screen accurate, aside from the fact that it doesn't come with the belt. There's some nice details here, like on the shirt, it has this printed fabric to be screen accurate. And then in the back, one little detail that I really liked is that it has the little pulley string thing in the back, so I was very happy about that. On the jeans, one thing that I really liked that stood out to me is the fact that these are actually made of real denim. It's not like blue fabric trying to pretend to be denim. It is actual denim. They are made like proper jeans. So that was something that I honestly wasn't expecting, but I'm very, very happy about that. And it does have real working pockets in the back, which is obviously great if you're going to a convention. It's good to have usable little back pockets, and it does have actual belt loops, so you can put a belt on there. So they are actual, like, real functioning jeans. And then on here, we have this nice printed cow fabric that also provides screen accuracy. So overall, accuracy on it is fantastic. Their choice of materials is really good. All the materials are nice and thick. They have a great structure to them, and just the choice of materials on everything is really, really good. So I was very happy about that, and it's all made very, very nicely. And it also comes with the little hair bow, which I was very happy about. That's kind of a little detail that I feel like a lot of cosplays would kind of overlook, but this one does come with the little hair bow that goes on the braid. So in terms of just like materials, screen accuracy, and quality, like the quality of the sewing is really good, the quality of the materials is really good, and everything is good in terms of all the decisions that they made on there. So I was very happy about that. That unfortunately is where the positive aspects of this cosplay end. So let's jump into the negative. The overall negative part about this cosplay is that I cannot really wear it because the sizing is completely off. I made sure to choose the correct size, compare my measurements to the measurements given in their size chart, and the measurements in their size chart are completely off. I chose a size small. Everything is supposed to fit within my measurements, but this fits more like an extra small or even extra, extra small. I could not physically put on the pants. I couldn't physically like do up the button or do up the zipper. It would not fit around my waist. And comparing the actual size, like physical size of the waist of the pants with what the size chart says, the largest size that the pants are supposed to fit according to their size chart is 27 inches, but the waist of the jeans is only 25 inches. Obviously that's a huge discrepancy and not a good thing because I cannot physically wear these pants. It's not even just by a little bit, like they really, really don't fit. I had the same issue with the shirt. It was very difficult to get on over my head. I did manage to, but it is so tight in the chest area. Again, the chest area is supposed to, perfectly fit me according to the size chart, but it ended up being so tight that I could not move my arms back and forth, and it did kind of restrict my breathing. And obviously it was just something that I could not wear for a convention, just with how restrictive it is. There is a little zipper at the back of the cosplay. It was super, super tight, even without me doing up the zipper. So I think it would have been like impossible to wear it if I had actually zipped up the zipper. So it is not at all true to size. It runs very, very small, and their size chart is not accurate. One thing that I did with the cosplay as soon as I got it, and something that I always do whenever I get cosplays, I always wash my cosplays on the delicate hand wash setting, just to be as gentle as possible. All of the buttons except for one ended up actually coming right off of the front of the shirt as soon as I washed them. There is one that is still on there, and it is kind of just hanging on for dear life. So that shows me that that's a really weak adhesive. It would be much better if these were sewn on. Luckily, it's not a huge thing to have to fix, but I think given the price of the cosplay, that's not a defect that you really want to have to anticipate. It does also make me wonder, if you didn't end up washing the cosplay beforehand, you just wore this to an event, whether or not the buttons would actually stay on. So that does not inspire confidence, unfortunately. In terms of the pants, one thing that I don't like, luckily it's an easy thing to fix, but I feel like it should just be done right out of the gate, is that this part of the cow print part, I don't know what it's actually called, this is not actually sewn to the bottom of the jeans. It's supposed to stay there while you walk, but it's not actually sewn on. So while you're walking around, this is gonna like flap around, which is not great, of course. Luckily, it's easy to go in there and just tack it on or sew it on the sewing machine, but that is something that I wish was actually done on the cosplay. And then one big issue with the hat is that it is really small. Me trying to put it on my head, I can't physically get it to like go on my head. When it comes to cosplay hats, you always want them to be on the much bigger side, because obviously you're going to be wearing a wig underneath most of the time, unless you're using real hair, but like 99% of the time you're going to be using a wig. Cosplay hats are usually constructed bigger so that they can accommodate the size of your normal head plus the wig on top. So the fact that I can't actually wear this without a wig is not a good thing. It needs to be much bigger. You could still wear it by like sewing it onto the wig or using pins to keep it on, but I do really think that should be much bigger. As well, the brim of the hat has no structure even when it's ironed. It just flops around. It does not stay crisp, as you can see, and it just does not look good in photos. I would be really interested if you guys have had experiences with CosDaddy. Please, by all means, let me know. I'm very curious if this is just a one-off thing. Maybe it's just this particular cosplay that the sizing is totally off, but either way, obviously the sizing should not be off. It should be accurate to the size chart. Obviously, you could contact them and ask them for a different size, but if it is being advertised as, you know, fitting certain measurements, it should really live up to that. And especially when it comes to cosplay, the majority of the time people are needing those cosplays for a very specific date, and they're ordering it with that date in mind. So oftentimes there's not going to be, even if you can get a replacement that's going to be your size, you're not going to necessarily have the time before your event to go through the whole process of exchanging it for a different size. Overall, it's just not a great thing. It might be a fixable thing with them. I don't know. I don't know if you contact them and said that it was too small, that they'd send you another one, but that's not really a process that you should have to go through given the measurements that are on their site. And every other cosplay that I've reviewed, I've never had this issue before. It's always been accurate to the size chart. So overall, not a cosplay I would recommend. I am curious to know other people's experiences with this website, because maybe their other cosplays don't have the same issue. But when it comes to my experience and this particular cosplay, I definitely do not recommend it. Yeah, sometimes products don't live up to expectations, and sometimes cosplays, you know, aren't as good as they are advertised. So even though this isn't my typical kind of in-depth, thorough review, I hope that does still help you, kind of showing the other side of how some cosplays are. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Again, hope you found this helpful. I will see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye.